thank you for joining me, and today I'm going to cover how to build business credit that's not linked to your social security number. No credit check or no personal guarantee. So if you are a business owner or if you're thinking about becoming a business owner, you are going to want to stay tuned to this. I'm going to give you some very impactful, powerful information that you can use to get money and credit for your business, no matter what your personal credit looks like. Even if you've got great personal credit, at some point you're going to want to separate the two. I'm going to give you some valuable tools and resources that you can use to get money, get credit, get store credit, a lot of things for your business. So pay close attention, take a lot of notes. So what I'm going to cover in this video today is, one, how to build credit for your EIN that's not linked to your social security number. Okay, I'm going to cover how to beat the banks and become fundable, how to turn a business credit denial into an approval. Yes, a yes from a no to a yes. I'm going to show you how to do that, and how anyone can get business credit for your EIN. I'm going to cover new vendors who will help you build business credit. Of course, that's key, is those initial vendors who are going to help you start, who are going to then help you get to the next step of the other vendors. How to get high limit revolving corporate cards, how to get credit with no credit check or guarantee, and how to get approved for up to $150,000 in credit lines, even as a startup business. Yes, it's totally possible. I'm going to cover these things today in this video. And to top it off, I got some good bonuses for you if you stick around to the end. Really good bonuses. So this webinar is for anybody looking for money to start or grow a business. It's also for anyone who has been denied for credit and need a solution. Anyone looking for the easiest and fastest way to get capital, right? If you've been to banks, if you've been to lenders and you've gotten denied for business credit or business loans, this is for you. I'm going to show you some real ways that you can get funding for your business, no matter what state your business is in right now. And anybody looking to stop investing their income, savings, and personal credit to fund their business. Yes, this is for you. Okay, so about my company, right? I've helped clients obtain over $36 million in funding, and I enjoy doing it. I love helping my clients who are business owners, who are looking to take their business to the next level, or people who are thinking about starting a business and they don't know where to go to get the money, and they don't want to deplete their own personal savings or put their own personal credit at risk. My company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we also have we offer a $50,000 guarantee for every client we've worked with to build business credit, a $50K guarantee. All right, so the bonuses that I'm going to give at the end are a complimentary business credit evaluation and funding strategy session. It's valued at $229. Any business owner that that is interested in an evaluation on their business, me showing them what we can get for their business or possibly what somebody else could get for their business, we love to do an evaluation for you. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a $229 value. And also a list of business starter accounts you can utilize to establish credit for your business. Those initial starter accounts are extremely important. And then the key is understanding who those vendors or creditors are going to report to. That's the key, knowing the criteria of those vendors and knowing who they're going to actually report to. So we're going to show you how to pull your business credit reports, how to check and see what's on there. We're going to cover all of that in this video today. So getting money for your business can be difficult, right? Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. Half of businesses fail within the first 5 years, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Also, according to a study by U.S. Bank, 82% of business failures, are due to cash flow. Not too many business owners go out of business because they've got too much money. It's typically because they don't have enough cash flow and they don't have money for marketing and expenses and payroll and their own salary. So most business owners go out of business because of cash flow. So we want to eliminate all of those problems if we can help you in any way. And then also, cash flow is the biggest worry of a small business owner. There's a lot of pressure on small business owners, and I can relate because I'm a small business owner myself. I know the difficulties. I know your plight. I know what keeps you up at night, because they're the same things that kept me up at night. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm going to give you some real solutions, and I'll help you honestly in any way that I can, because my heart is for people in general, but I love to help small business owners and just people who are looking to better their situation. So if I can help you in any way, of course, feel free to reach out. How to get money for your business. We're going to cover that. Structure your business so it can be funded by meeting or exceeding lender standards before you apply. This is important, and we're going to cover this in great detail. Most people do not meet lender standards, and they don't meet the lender standards because they don't even know what the lender standards are, and that's very, very important. That's key. That's crucial. And you need to establish your business credit profile and score so you can, one, get funded by lenders, and two, get access to the capital. It's very, very important. So most people apply, this is the order in which they do it. Most people apply for business credit and they skip the credibility setup, and they don't have an actual plan. They don't have a plan. Every lender has a criteria that you must meet in order to borrow from them. And they don't just say, they don't just pick people out of a bunch and say, I'm going to lend to this person and not lend to this person. They have a criteria. So it's important that we know what that criteria is. And this is where we come in, and this is where we can help out big time. Knowing the criteria of the lender before you apply is a key component to building business credit. So, for instance, let's say you take Apple, right? Let's say you want credit with Apple, and Apple has a criteria of you must have seven or 8 accounts before they'll give you credit, and you must have 3 accounts reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, whatever that particular criteria is, and we have that listed too as well. If you don't know that and you just automatically apply blindly and you get denied, but you don't know why you got denied, it's important that every lender that we know, that you know what that lender's criteria and their guidelines are before you actually apply. So increase your ability to be funded. There are at least 125 factors that impact your ability to get approved for business funding, right? We're not going to go over all 125 today, but we're going to go over a decent amount so that way you know what it takes to increase your ability to be funded, okay? So increasing your ability to get funded, these are important factors, okay? So the type of entity you have is very, very important. You don't want to be a sole proprietorship, LLC, corporation, and then the type of phone number you use, that's very, very important, okay? You don't want to be using your cell phone. You don't want to use just a regular house phone. You want to have a number that is registered with 411. We'll go over that too. So these are some of the important factors. Where your phone number is listed is very important. The type of business address you have, that's very important. You don't want to use your home address. These are things that are red flags. You don't want to use your home address for your business, because it shows, if let's say a potential vendor or lender looks and they can see that that is your home address, it will cause a red flag. It causes a red flag. Now you may be thinking in your mind like, hey, well, I know companies that make a good deal of money and they're working, or individuals, they're working right outside of their homes. I don't make the rules. I just know the rules and I play by the rules. So I want to give you what the rules are, so that way we're not here to say what they should and shouldn't do. We just want to know what the rules are and abide by those rules to put you in a position for funding, the maximum amount of funding that you can get. Okay, so the type of business address you have is very important. You can do not, I wouldn't say a mailboxes, etc., or anything like that. You can do a virtual office, and we're going to, below this video, we're going to list a bunch of places that you can actually get a virtual office from in your particular state that you're in. Some national companies. We'll list those companies so that you can take a look at it. The type of business address you have, the licensing requirements. So let's say if you're a contractor, you want to make sure that you have a license for your business if it's required. If you're a beautician, you want to have a license. These are things that they're going to look at because they want to know, is this company credible, right? These are things that's just public information, okay? And then also the congruency of your records. What we mean by that is You don't want to have an address on your business bank account or bank statements that's totally different from your articles of incorporation. And then your business, let's say your business license is listed under another address. You want everything congruent. And it may take a little time. And when I say a little time, let's say if it took you a couple hours to straighten all of those things out. And you may think, well, that's not the most convenient thing or the best use of my time, but it is, because those foundational things are going to be important in setting you up for the best the best possible position to get funding, right? So these factors are very, very important in order for you to increase your fundability. These are fundamental things that need to be straightened out. Just like if you were building a house, you will want the foundation and the fundamentals, those things set up to be correct before you start putting up walls. You want the foundation to be strong. So your bank account status, this is important. You want to, open up a bank account. You don't want to be in business. I've talked to plenty of business owners and they say, they've been in business for 2 years, but they don't have a bank account established yet. Or the bank account was open and then it's closed. Right? So you want to make sure that you have an active bank checking and savings for your business and that you're showing activity through that account. You want a website and an email address. You want that set up for your business. Okay? So you can get a website for as little as probably $50 on Fiverr. You can go to a website called Fiverr, and you can get a website on one page. It doesn't have to be a 3-page, 5-page, and you have to hire someone to spend thousands of dollars. You can get a website landing page for your company for as little as $50. It's worth the investment. And then it just makes you more credible, not just for lenders, but people that you'll possibly do business with. And then also the status of your EIN, and your DUNS number. You want to make sure that you have your EIN number for your business. If not, if you don't have it, you want to get that. You want to obtain that. That doesn't cost you any money. Okay, so increasing your ability to be funded. Most loan applications get denied due to fraud concerns, not because you don't qualify. Just think about this. If you're applying for credit online through your company, the lender has never met you. This is not like how it was in the 1950s when you walked into a bank and you shook hands and, money was lended based off of a handshake. Now, lenders, you may be on the other side of the globe, and a lender has never met you. They don't know you, but information on your business is public information, but you have your website address is not listed, your number is not registered with 411, or you have conflicting information, you have different addresses for your business. They look at this as a red flag. These are things that cause business owners to get denied, and they don't even understand why. They don't understand why. These are things that are very simple fixes. And you may get sometimes overwhelmed as a business owner because we have so much to do. But the thing is this, what I learned even in business and in life, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, bite by bite, chunk by chunk. So don't get overwhelmed. They seem like menial tasks or things that are very small, but these are very important things to the success of your business and you possibly getting money. Lenders combat fraud by matching info you provide on the application across public information from various bureaus. So they cross-reference this information, and anything that's conflicting, they automatically flag it and deny your credit for your business. So these fundamental things of making sure that everything is congruent across all entities is extremely important. Making sure that all of your information lines up. Okay, so you want to match info from your application against data from Lexisnexis, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax, Check Systems, Small Business Financial Exchange. So Lexisnexis, if you're not familiar with them, they pull data that is, they have data on you from everything, from every house that you sold, every job that you worked at, probably the relationships that you've been in, every email address that you've ever had, criminal history, everything. All of that is public information. The information or your data on LexisNexis can be freezed. There are a lot of different ways to clean things up. You want to obtain a report. One of the things that people don't realize, and I'm just backtracking a little bit, that anyone can pull your business credit, right? If I have your information on your business, I don't need your tax ID number or your EIN. I don't need any of those things, and I don't need your permission to pull your business credit. It's not like personal credit where you need your social security number, your date of birth. You need those things. With a business, anyone can pull your business credit. So it's important that what they see when they go to pull it, that you look good to potential lenders and potential companies that you're going to do business with. Okay, so Dun & Bradstreet, right? So most people are familiar with Dun & Bradstreet. They are the largest and the most important business credit reporting agency out of the three major. So you have Experian Business, Equifax Business, and also Dun & Bradstreet, right? So they are very important, and they don't work in conjunction with one another. They don't work together. They're all three separate entities. Okay, check systems is extremely important too. You can pull your report through check systems, and then also the Small Business Financial Exchange. You want to match your info to make sure that everything is reporting with all of these bureaus. Okay, so your information must stay consistent. This is extremely important. Okay, so LexisNexis keeps the following data and much more, right? Every home you purchased, and sold, the sales price of that home, every phone, email you've had, all licenses you've ever held, driving, boat, firearm, every license that you've ever had, your traffic tickets, your felonies, your traffic tickets, your felonies, your misdemeanors, all criminal history, your employment history, every business you've been associated with, whether you owned it outright or you had a partnership, every public record, bankruptcies, judgments, lawsuits, liens, education history, where you went to school, how long you were there for, the dates you graduated, your degrees you received, your marriage and divorce records, your rental history, your credit information, everything about you LexisNexis has. It's almost it's sickening the amount of information that is available on you. There is in the world that we live in, it's crazy because there is no hiding. There is no hiding. Everything is just public. Everything is public. So, but the important thing is that if that information is public, you want the information about you and your business and what's seen to look good. So, because we're constantly being judged whether we know it or not. Okay, so how do you turn a credit denial into an approval by small changes to your fundability? This is very, very important. I'm going to show you how to make small changes, right? If you don't have a website, if you don't have a number listed with 411, if all of your information is not congruent or the same across all bureaus, how to change that information. Okay, so let me just quickly show you. This was a client who's worked with us and read to you their testimony. We're working with Leaf Credit Solutions to get business credit, helped me through a difficult time in my business. With the credit I got from Home Depot, I was able to finish the renovation on my rehab project. I was able to get multiple business credit cards and an $85,000 credit line to help assist with cash flow. Building my business credit has been a huge stress reliever. I am excited about the process and looking to get more. $142,749 in credit and cash. And it's something that's doable for your business if you realize it. If you don't realize it, it is. We've taken business owners who were in a position where they didn't have any credit for their business. They didn't have anything established. Some of them, when they came to us, they didn't even have a website. They didn't have anything for their business. But it's going through those steps. And the thing is this. There is a process of building business credit, because if building business credit was easy and you could just watch a couple of videos and go through a couple steps, everybody would have business credit. But it's not. It's not an easy process. But we're going to cover some very fundamental things that you can do on your own, or show you what you need to do if you wanted to hire a company like us to help you throughout the process. But either way, having that information is very crucial and very key. Okay, so building credit for your EIN. When you apply for a home loan, an auto loan, or personal credit card, the lender pulls your credit, right? So when your business applies for money, your business credit is used to determine a couple of things. One, if you get approved. Two, how much you get approved for. And then three, the rates and terms you will pay if you do get approved. So that's very, very important. Your business credit, your EIN or tax ID number, it's important that you work on that as just like you would your personal credit. Just like you would establish, if you, let's say you didn't have any personal credit or personal credit history, you would start out with typically secured credit cards. Most people start out, or they might start out as an authorized user on someone else's card, and they would build up. And it would take them, whether it be 2 years, 3 years, it could possibly take years to build a very strong personal credit profile, depending upon how aggressive you are in the process. But with business credit, the great thing is it does not take years. You can build an extremely strong business credit profile within 6 months to a year, depending upon how aggressive you are, how much information you have, and how diligent you are throughout the process. You can build a very strong business credit profile. I'm talking about getting lines of credit, getting auto loans through the business that do not show up on your personal credit, getting credit cards, major credit cards, large limit credit cards. The process of getting this through a business is a lot quicker than it is for personal credit, because lenders understand that you as a business owner, you need access to more money than an individual does. So the credit lines and the credit limits are going to be 10 to sometimes 100 times higher than they would with your personal credit. Okay, so build credit for your business using your EIN. Get approved regardless of your personal credit. And a lot of people, they can't wrap their head around this, but it is true. You can get approved for business credit no matter what your personal credit looks like. No personal guarantee required. These are just some of the benefits. No consumer credit inquiries or reporting. You don't have to worry about getting a bunch of inquiries on your credit. And the credit limits are 10 times higher than personal credit. I've seen it. They're 10 times higher than personal credit because, again, lenders understand that as a business owner, you need more cash flow, you need more money than an individual does. Okay, this nation was built for businesses, because businesses are what drive our economy. You can also get credit quickly. Your scores are based on payment history and not other things don't come into play. So for instance, when you have personal credit, you have 5 factors, right? Payment history is 35% of your credit score. You also have 30%. This is just dealing with personal credit. 30% is your utilization. 15% is your length of credit history, the average age or how old your accounts are. 10% for inquiries, and then 10% for having a mix of variety of credit. So those are 5 different factors for personal credit. Now for business credit, there's only one factor. Do you pay on time? That's it. And when I say do you paying on time, it's not that you have to pay the full entire balance if you have credit cards, right? Now, if you have a net 30 or net 60 or 90-day account, of course you're paying that balance in full. But if you have credit cards or a line of credit, you're not paying them in full. They just want to know, hey, do you pay on time? Okay. And building business credit also establishes credibility for lenders and credit issuers. And anyone, this is important, anyone can pull your business credit reports, like I was telling you earlier. If you have a business name and where that business is located, you can easily pull a business credit report. Anybody can pull your business credit report. So it's up to you what they see when they pull that report. Most business owners don't realize that the more you build the credit for your business, the more marketable your company is, the more value your company has if you ever go to sell it. It's extreme. That's important. This is not something that you want to ignore, procrastinate on. A lot of times as business owners too, we can drag our feet with things. The time is of the essence. It's extremely important. What I learned too, just in business and life, I remember my mom used to always say to me, why put off to tomorrow what you can do today? No, because I used to always say, I'm going to cut the grass tomorrow, or I'll rake the leaves tomorrow. But she instilled a work ethic in me that I understand today why she used to make me get up. And she said, hey, you don't sleep in this house late. But that's just a quick sidebar. But anything that you can do today, don't put it off until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised to us. For me, I don't want to leave my wife and kids with any burdens that I just did not handle, or things that I could have done. Instead of me watching, and there's nothing wrong with watching football or watching the sports game. Hey, I could have taken that time to straighten out things in my business, because I want to give them the life that I didn't have. Every generation should get better. So increase your business credit score by increasing your fundability. This is extremely important. We went over your fundability, making sure that the things on that checklist that we talked about, making sure that your number is listed with 411, making sure that all of your information is congruent on all of your paperwork for your business, making sure that you have your business licensing, making sure that you have all of these things set up for your business. And we'll give you a list of the fundability factors, and making sure that you are able to check all of those boxes for your business, because these are the things that are crucial in building business credit. Most business owners go out and they apply for credit, they get denied, and they don't know why they got denied, because they did not meet the lender's criteria, and they didn't. Number one, the structure of their company, the foundation, the fundability of their company was not set up correctly. So increasing your fundability will drastically increase your odds of approval. Example, all information congruent, addresses, phone numbers, etc. Exactly what I just said. So these are just a couple client approvals. This was $6,000 from QT. Floor and decor, this was $10,000. If you're in real estate, this is a great thing, because you can actually use that flooring to finish your rehab projects, and then also capital on tap. This was a $10,000 approval from clients. These are some more approvals just to show you a couple. And a lot of times, like I said, look, some of these businesses we just started establishing credit for these businesses maybe within a 6-month time frame. But look at the amount of the credit cards, $10,000. With personal credit, that would have taken at least a couple of years to build up to. This right here, if you see this one, this is a $22,000 approval. And then, let me go back to this. And then this one it's a little bit small, but $10,000, right? This was with Chase. This was with Bank of America. And this one, I think, was with US Bank. Okay. And again, this does not take years. This can be done in a matter of months. Okay. So Lowe's, this is a big one too. Lowe's is very important for, of course, if you're doing rehab projects, if you're in any sort of real estate, you can get Lowe's, Home Depot, and other companies similar to that, right? You don't have to wait years, just like I was saying. You don't have to wait years. You can get approvals from these companies that can help you in order to finish projects. Whereas though you use the credit, and then when you finish and you sell the house or you flip that house, then you pay off that line of credit or that credit card. Okay, so build credit for your business using your EIN. Any business can qualify for business credit. Startups, nonprofits. It also works if you own multiple businesses. You don't have to. You're not just stuck to doing this with one business. You can do this with several companies. Right? You can get approved for business credit even if you can't get any type of personal credit loan or credit line. No cash flow requirements, no collateral required, and no consumer credit required. I have a lot of clients that I've helped to build their business credit, and they might have had horrible credit. Now, we also help clients on the personal credit side, but at the same time, if they did not come to us for that and their personal credit isn't good, and we're just strictly solely working on their business, we're going to focus on that. And in almost every case where we were able to, if the client was diligent with the process and staying with us, we were able to build their business credit. The initial step to build business credit is as follows. So the credit must report to business credit reporting agencies, and that's important. And we're going to go through that today too. It's important that we monitor, or you monitor, your business credit reports to make sure that the accounts that are open are reporting to the correct business credit reporting agencies. And you can do that through a company called NAV. You don't initially need to do it right away, but using NAV would help you to monitor your business credit reports, nav.com, NAV. And I'll put that link available for you here so that way you'll have access to it. So the credit issuer must approve with no current credit, right? So it's important, those starter vendors that we talked about earlier, the initial accounts that you're going to use to open, that you're going to open to establish credibility for your business or to establish some business credit scores, that's an important part of the process. You're going to use them as a stepping stone to then get to the other lenders who may not approve you unless you have maybe 5 to 7 accounts open, right? And it's important that you can do this with PG and non-PG available. So this is the thing too. We always talk about being able to do it without using your social security number. You can do that, but let's say if you do have strong personal credit, you can just add gas to the fire and you can expedite the process. And you can do things just a lot. Like, I'll give you an example. I went to Wells Fargo some time ago to open up a second business account, and they gave me a $7,500 business credit card for my business without actually doing a hard pull, and that business credit card did not show up on on my personal credit. It showed strictly on the business's credit. Okay, they started me out with $7,500. Since then, they've increased the limit. I think I'm up to like $13,500 now. With that particular card, but you can do that. And I always tell people to credit unions. I swear by credit unions. You can, whether it be Navy Federal, Penn Fed, credit unions are they're very business friendly. Their interest rates are great, and it's just great to get your foot in the door with credit unions. And you can also do that for your business. So use vendors to build EIN credit. You use vendors with no PG, right? The net terms such as net 30, no credit check, no personal guarantee. And some trade vendors require minimum purchases, right? So when you establish credit, you may have some vendors that may say, well, in order for us to report that, you have to purchase a minimum of $50. And again, this is understanding and knowing what that vendor's criteria is and who they actually report to. And that's why it's important too to monitor your business credit reports so that you know that you're getting credit for these payments and that they're actually reporting it to the bureaus that they report to. And fundability is important to approval. Again, I can't say this enough. I can't stress this enough. Making sure that your information is correct. You want to verify that. And whatever is not correct, it's easily fixable. Just take the time to make sure that all information is congruent across all entities. So, steps to build business credit for your business using your EIN. This is very important. So with 5+ accounts reporting, apply for retail credit. Your Lowe's, your Home Depot, your Best Buys, you want to have, before you get to this tier, that particular tier, you want to have at least 5 accounts reporting before you can actually apply for retail credit. And you can do that through like your Ulines, your Grangers, and again, we will supply, or I will supply to you, a list of creditors that you can actually establish credit with. With 8+ accounts reporting, you can apply for fleet credit tier, right? Applying for your gas cards, BP gas. A lot of my clients who we've built business credit for that are truck drivers or own logistics companies, of course, they benefit tremendously from gas, okay? This is important. Like, I'll give an example. I had a client owns a trucking company. He's in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we were able to get him a $19,000 gas card, which helps with his company. And it's not that he has to pay it back in full. It's not a net 30 or net 60 or net 90. He has a a $19,000 credit limit, and that's just one of a few cards that we were able to get for him. So with 14 plus accounts reporting, you having at least one account with a $10,000 limit, you can get cash, credit tier, and auto financing, right? GMAC, a lot of lenders that you can afford, you can get credit with under your business credit. So some of them, and before you go to the dealership, it's important that you just talk to them and find out what it is that they're looking for to approve you. Of course, you would have to, I know that all of my other times that I purchased vehicles under my company credit, I had to take my paperwork for my business. So some of them want you to fax it over ahead of time so they can take a look at it and have the actual finance company okay it. But it's something that can definitely be done. And there are a lot of them that do not require a personal guarantor or you to guarantee the loan. You can actually do it without a PG at all. So, in continuing steps to build credit for your business using your EIN, don't authorize a personal credit check or guarantee. A lot of times when you go to do this on the application, they'll have a spot for you to fill out with your social security number. You don't have to do that. Tell them that you strictly want to do it in your business name. Okay? So use the credit you get and build on it, right? So for example, the example that I gave you with Wells Fargo, they gave me $7,500 started out, and now I'm up to $13,500 for that account. That's because I built upon it. You want to make sure that you build upon it. You use the credit, and of course you want it to be something that you have a need for. But you use the credit, and then you continue to build on it to increase the limit on it. Request credit limit increases at least every 6 months. You want to pay your bills early for your business, right? You don't want to get into the habit of waiting until they are due. You pay your bills early, and I'll supply you with a chart to show you as far as your paydex score for your business, how you're rated. And of course, business credit scores range from 0 to 100. You want to make sure that you pay your bills early, not just on time, but early, because this is the only factor that impacts your business credit scores. Okay, so you want to get your credit report and you want to check it beforehand. This is important. Get your credit report. You can get it through nav.com and you check it beforehand. What is reporting on your company? I've had clients who say, hey, I don't have any business credit, but little did they know they had negative information reporting about their company because they never actually checked their business credit. And then you want to submit your financials to DMB. This is important. This is if your company is doing business. If you're not operating your company, if your company is not functional, of course, you can't submit any financials. But if you are, you want to submit your financials to DMB. So that way, any lenders who you're applying for credit for, that you're applying for credit with, that they'll see that your information has been submitted to DMB and it's not questionable because DMB can verify that that information is accurate. Okay, so don't wait until you need money to try and get it. This is where a lot of people go wrong, right? And this is my saying, one of my favorite sayings in life. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That's like with everything in life. When you buy a car, they put a spare in there, not because you're going to need it right away. You may never need it, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Don't wait until your company needs money or you get into a desperate situation where you're like, oh, I need to hire new people. Oh, I need cash flow. Whatever it is that you need, it's better to have it sitting so when you do need it, because when you do need it, when you desperately need money for your business and you wait until things are a desperate situation, that's when it's going to be almost impossible for you to get it. Whoever is helping you is not going to be able to move fast enough. So if you need monies and you know at some point you're going to need money, do it now. Go through those steps now and get set up so that way you have the money when you do need it. I'll give an example. I had a client, and this was maybe about 4 years ago. And we were talking to him about business credit, and he was saying, oh, I don't need money now, and I'm okay. But a few months later, he called us and said, hey, Do you think you can still help me? And at the time, you know, he owned a restaurant, in his the building that he was in. The air system went out totally. He started losing business because he didn't have the monies that he needed to replace the air. So no one wants to eat in a hot restaurant in the summertime. You know, I don't know if that guy's still in business, but we couldn't help him out in a matter of time that he needed help, because he waited to the very last minute. Again, that's an example of having it and not need it, than needing it and not having it. Don't wait to the last minute until you need something. Okay, so a lot of things that hold business owners back. I kind of want to go over and just give you some things to think about. Flying blind, not knowing the lender's criteria before applying. These are things that when a person goes through the process of trying to build credit for their business, or saying, okay, I'm just going to apply for credit. If you don't know that lender's criteria and you apply, then you're actually flying blind. You're applying for that credit and crossing your fingers and hoping that you actually get approved, right? And that's the wrong way to go about it. Not having business credit to help your cash flow. These are things that hold a business owner back. You want to make sure that you have proper cash flow for your business. Credit and funding options are a mystery to most people, and they're not easily accessible, right? You want to make sure that you have credit and funding options and that you know what they are. It's something that's not easily accessible, because if it was, most people would have it. Our business credit and funding program helps do all three things, right? It helps do all three of those things. It helps you to understand and know what the lender's criteria is. It helps you build cash flow for your business, and it also helps you understand what your credit and funding options are, and so that it's not a mystery to you, right? And then you can get the credit that you need for your business, and you can get the most money at the best terms. That's very important, because just think about this. Let's say if you needed $10,000 for your business tomorrow, and you don't know what the lender's criteria is, and you're out there and you're just applying for credit, right? As opposed to you going through a channel or entity or person that does this on an everyday basis, and they know what that lender's criteria is. They know how to get you the money at the best terms. It's almost like going through a broker, using the knowledge of someone else. That's important. I try to stay in my lane. I don't know a whole lot about taxes. That's why I have an accountant who, that's what he does. If you don't know a lot about credit, having someone who is a specialist helping you to repair your credit, who understands the ins and outs of dealing with the credit bureaus. If you have issues with your car, you go to a mechanic, or you take it to the dealership, because you're not trying to learn all of those things. It's important that you go to the sources for your business who are going to help you out the quickest, so that way it's the least painful for you, and it saves you time, because time is money. Time is money. Okay, so this is an example of a client. I remember he found me on Facebook at one time, and Waynell had opened up a company out in Cincinnati, Ohio. He wanted to open up like a gaming lounge. And this is what he said about our company. He said, my business is on the right track. For almost a year, I tried to build credit for my business, but the things did not work out for me. Now that I have more cash, I can invest money into a real marketing campaign and finally hire a full-time assistant. I'm glad that I made the decision to invest in my business. And at the time, I think he only wanted about 60 or 70,000, but I encouraged him to take more money, because again, I told him it's easier to take more money and get more money for your business than to not get enough and then go back and try to get more. Again, an example of it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Okay, so what you get when you sign up if you go through us. And again, there is no obligation to sign up through us or with us. I hope that the information that I gave you was valuable. I'll be giving out more information, free information, But what you get if you sign up as a business credit client with us, you get a business credit advisor to guide you through each step, right? That's invaluable. Understanding what the lender's criteria is, understanding how to build your business credit, understanding what the lenders are looking for. Because most people, they go out and they apply blindly. They apply for credit, they get denied, and they don't understand why. They don't understand what the credibility checklist is, the things that the lenders are looking for, right? What are red flags? What are they looking at? When you have, that's like you having a tour guide to show you around a place that you've never been to, right? Who knows that the ins and outs of those streets or that neighborhood or all of the logistics, they know it like the back of their hand. That's extremely important. That's invaluable, right? If you go to a new place, you don't want to be riding around with a map trying to find things. Time is of the essence, and time is money. So it also includes help with setup of business name, your entity or EIN. Sometimes I get people come to me and say, hey, I know I want to do this, but I don't even have a business set up yet. And we help them to do that. Help with the address and phone setup. It also includes the setup of your 411 listing and your online directories. We also give you the resources to set up your website and email accounts if necessary, if that's something that you're looking for. Hold on one second. Just got to take a sip of water. I'm thirsty. Okay. Also, it helps. We'll help you through the licensing process and your online listing compliance check. Assistance and resources to set up your bank and merchant account. If you don't have a merchant account, we can assist with that too as well. Your DUNS number set up with Dun & Bradstreet. We also help you with your BIN set up with Experian, your business identification number, dispute and fix business credit derogatories. Again, you may have things on your report and you may say, hey, well, I never worked to establish business credit, but if anyone's reporting anything negative about your business, you would want to know that. And if not, it's important that you go through that process of actually pulling your reports. And if there's anything derogatory, we also assist in fixing that. Also, access to lenders and their approval criteria. This is priceless. Imagine if you were going to take a test, right? But you had the answers to that test before you even took it. It's then easy to pass the test. That's very, very important. Understanding what the lender's criteria is, what they're looking for, because if you can meet the criteria, right, which we help you do, before you even apply, then you already know that you're going to get approved because you already know that you meet their checklist. Also, access to list of retail and fleet cards, no PG, meaning no personal guarantor. A large inventory of starter vendors that you can use to start establishing business credit with, and access to 0% unsecured financing for startup businesses. These things are invaluable. Okay, and we also give every single business owner that we work with a risk-free unconditional guarantee. Access everything upon initial payment. Everything once you contract with us to go through the process of building your business credit. We don't give you everything in drips. You have access to everything immediately, right? And we give you a 50K guarantee. You should receive a minimum of $50,000 in business credit within 6 months, or we work with you until you do. A minimum. Obtaining $50,000 in business credit is not difficult at all, especially if you know what you're doing. Again, it's like getting in the car with somebody who knows the back roads, they know the shortcuts, they know the easy route to take, and they can get there with their eyes closed. When you have someone who eats, sleeps, and breathes credit, they know the criteria of every lender, they know the process, they know all of the shortcuts. It's important that you take the shortcuts if you can. So a retail value, if you retail everything at $7,802, that would be the retail price for our Business Credit Builder program. So if you're going through our process, we give you a couple ways to get started. Again, it retails at $7,802. If you wanted to get started today with us and actually hire us to go through the process with you, we don't, again, a lot of companies, they say, oh, here, for this price that you see here, They're giving you access to everything and you do it on your own. No, we do everything concierge. We hold your hand throughout the whole entire process. A lot of stuff we do for you. Now, you can't just kick your feet up and call us when it's done. It's not that type of situation. But we do a lot of, especially my assistant and the people that I have that work with me, a lot of things because you're busy. Let's say if you own a logistics company and you're owner operator and you drive trucks and you're on the road, a lot of times you don't have time to do things. So with our program, we do a lot of the work for you. Okay, so option one, you have the payment plan. The total is $37.99. You would pay $12.99 upon sign up, and you would pay $625 per month, and that's just for 3 installments. Option two, you would do a one-time payment of $3,500, and that would save you $299. We're very workable. We're very flexible. If it's something that you want to do, we don't want finances to stand in your way. If you need help with this process and you say, hey, well, can I do something a little bit different? We're not totally opposed to it within reason. We believe that, if you take this process seriously and you want to invest into yourself, we want to help you throughout the process. Again, when I look at it as an investment, because some people, they look for the cheapest price for everything. They get sticker shock and say, hey, but if you have to look at what you're investing into yourself and say, what is going to be my ROI, my return on my investment? Is it worth it? If you're investing $37.99 or $3,500 and you're going to get back well over $50,000, then you do the math on that. As opposed to, I sometimes I get, I had a client who enrolled, and he's actually in the film industry, and he was like, hey, I was trying to build my business credit for over a year. And he was introduced to me by somebody else who we helped. But, he said, listen, I could continue down this path and keep trying to do it on my own, or I could hire a professional like yourself. And he is familiar with other people who we've helped throughout this process. But doing it on your own, yeah, you can do it on your own, and it can work. It's a tedious process, but if it was easy, trust me, everybody would do it. But having the lender criteria, having those starter vendors, knowing all of the shortcuts and the back roads, and knowing when to do things, that's so key. It's so key. It's so crucial. If you are looking for the shortcuts, if you're looking for the faster route to get there, to take your business to the next level, I want to help you do that. Again, you're not obligated to do anything. If I can help you in any way with your business, reach out to us. If you're looking to get started, we'll put a link down below this video, and we look forward to working with you. Pass this information on, subscribe, like this video, comment. If you have questions, reach out to us.